Okay, this is grammar module 3. The infinitive. Sorry, the infinitive and the ing form. When do we use the infinitive? Okay? And when we do use the ing, something that we have taken a lot. Let us see when to use it. Some tenses of infinitive, like when we use it in the active voice if it is in the present, so it's going to be to buy, and in the passive voice to be bought. The present continuous to be buying, and there is no passive. The perfect to have bought, and the passive to have been bought. The perfect continuous to have been buying, and there is no passive. Okay. When do we use the infinitive? We use the infinitive to express purpose. For example, Paul used to book to research topics for his assignment. To here plus the infinitive is to say this is a purpose. He used the book to research topics for his assignment. Paul used the book because he wanted to research topics for his assignment. So I use to plus the infinitive to express purpose. We use it after certain verbs like agree, appear, decide, expect, hope, plan, promise, refuse. Amy expects to get the job because she had a great interview. After would like, would prefer, and would love to express a specific preference. Like Henry would prefer to study English literature at university. This is something specific, it's not general. If we are going to speak about something general, we are going to use the ing form. After adjective which describe feelings, emotions like happy, sad, and glad, and that expresses willings and unwillings like willing, eager, reluctant, refer to a person's character like clever, kind, and so on. Let's have an example. Jiva was very happy to pass her entrance exam for college. Happy to plus the infinitive. But note with adjectives that refer to the character, we can also use an impersonal construction. What do we mean by this? We can say it was kind of Fred to cover Tim's shift tomorrow. Okay? Here we are using a impersonal construction. It was kind of Fred. This is a phrase. Why? To cover Tim's shift tomorrow night. Okay? We use it after to and enough. The computers in the office aren't good enough to run the new software. Enough to plus the infinitive, yes. And we can use, of course, the negative form with enough, no problem here. After a noun or a pronoun, the course gave Mike the chance to develop his writing skills. The course gave Mike the chance here is the noun, to develop his writing skills. Talk about unexpected event, usually with only. Helen worked all night only to find that the deadline had been extended, only to find. In this case, we are going to use to. With it plus be plus the adjective noun. It was difficult to hear Martin's voice, so Ben turned off the television. It, as the rule says, was, this is verb to be, adjective or noun. This is difficult, which is an adjective, to hear, the to plus the infinitive. After be, the first, second, next, last. Scott was the last person to congratulate me on my birthday. As you can see, Scott is the subject and this is verb to be, and the first, then we have to plus the infinitive. After verbs and expressions such as ask, learn, explain, decide, find out, want to know, so it's going to be Vicky's manager explained how to plan the project. But note, Y is followed by subject, okay? Plus verb, not an infinitive. I wonder why he didn't meet us last night. Why here is followed by a complete sentence. He didn't meet us last night, okay? Not plus two, plus the infinitive. So take care between how and why. We use it also with the expressions to tell you the truth or to be honest, and to sum up, to begin with. To tell you the truth, I'm not surprised that Dad left the company. Okay? Like this, to tell you the truth. But if we two infinitives are linked by and or, the two of the second infinitive can be omitted. Like what? Laura would love to go and visit Rome one day. We didn't say Laura would love to go and to visit. No, we omitted the second two. Why? Because we have an and here. Okay. The infinitive is also used with or after modal verbs. Eric can draw and paint very well. Okay? Can is followed by the infinitive, but if we call it a bare infinitive, what's the meaning of bare infinitive? It means an infinitive without to. After let, make, see, hear, and feel. Again, we are going to use a bare infinitive. Like Naomi's team leader made her print all 80 pages of the report. Made, print, infinitive, and it's a bare infinitive. But this sentence is in the active voice. When we use the same structure in the passive voice, here we have to put an infinitive with to. Naomi was made to print copies of the report for everyone in the meeting. Okay, so if it is a passive, we are going to use to plus the infinitive. If it is an active, with these verbs, we are going to put a bare infinitive. With when, see, hear, and watch are followed by an ing, there is no change in the passive. For example, Helen saw Jim working in the garden. Jim was seen working in the garden. There is no difference here. After had better and would rather, we use again a bare infinitive. You had better drive to work. This is a bare infinitive. Help can be followed by either the to infinitive or infinitive without to. Okay, it's both are correct. We can say Mark helped me to decorate the house, and we can say Mark helped me decorate the house. Okay, now what about the ing form, like breaking in the active voice and being broken in the passive voice? Having broken in the active voice and having been broken in the passive voice. What do we mean by the gerund or the ing? The ing form is used as a noun, like teaching, swimming, breaking news, for example. So teaching as a profession always needs to focus. So teaching here is a noun. After certain verbs like admit, appreciate, avoid, confess, deny, all these verbs are followed by an ing. I suggest speaking to Bob if you need help. He is an expert on computers. After love, like, enjoy, prefer, dislike, and hate to express general preference. Like Victor likes playing tennis in the evenings. It's something general. He does a lot. But for specific for specific preference, we use would like plus the to infinitive, as we said before. After expressions such as busy, it's no use, it's no good, it's worth, not worth. After these expressions, we use an ing. I fed up with doing so much overtime. I need to rest. After spend, waste and lose time and money, they lost a lot of time fixing the problems with the computer. After the preposition to with verbs and expressions such as look forward to, be used to, in addition to, object to, prefer doing something else, we use a gerund, and this is very important because it's confusing. For example, we are looking forward to meeting you next week. We didn't say to meet, we said to meeting. So take care of this. After all other prepositions, Andy is thinking of flying to Paris next week. All the other prepositions except to are followed by ing. Okay? After verbs like hear, listen to, notice, see, and feel to describe incomplete actions. To describe incomplete actions. I listened to Frank discussing his plans for next week. It means that I didn't listen from the beginning to the end. I only heard part of the discussion. Okay, but we use the infinitive without to with hear and listen to, notice, see, watch, and feel to describe their complete action. I listened to Frank discuss the plan for the conference. This is a complete action. Now, some verbs depends on the meaning to decide. Either we are going to use to plus the infinitive or ing. And I think you have studied them by heart here. Forget plus to infinitive. To what? To not remember to do something. The action of forget itself. Jason forgot to turn off his computer. It means he didn't remember. Forget plus ing. To not recall doing something. We are dealing here with our memories. Okay. Our memories and things happened in our memories. For example, I'll never forget sailing around the Caribbean. One day I sailed around the Caribbean, and I won't forget this experience, never. Okay? So we are going to use ing. Remember plus to infinitive to not forget to do something. Okay? Did you remember to book the meeting room? It means yes. Did you make the action? But remember plus ing means again something that I did in my past and I can remember very well. It has to do with experience. I remember joining Mark's team when I first started in the company. Remember here, plus the ing means, of course, means that this is an experience that lives with me. I can never forget it. Mean plus to infinitive to intend to do something. I'm sorry, I meant to hand it. It means here I intended to hand it in my essay yesterday, but I forgot. Okay? Plus ing to involve. If Jeff doesn't pass his test, it will mean doing extra catch-up classes. Okay? So here he is going to involve, he is going to join extra catch-up classes if he doesn't pass the test. Regret, to be sorry to do something, then I'm going to use to plus the infinitive. And it's normally used in the present simple with verbs such as say, tell, and inform. For example, the company regrets to inform the staff. The company is sorry to inform the staff that the training course has been cancelled. Regret plus ing to feel sorry about doing something. I regret missing out on the school trip to Belgium. It means I wish I had gone. Okay? Of course, try with to plus the infinitive and try ing. Try to plus the infinitive to do my best, to attempt. The supplier tried to email you, but there's messages bounce back. Try ing to do something as an experiment. Why don't you try creating your logo with graphic design software? Why don't you try and see if you are going to succeed or not? Stop to means to stop doing something temporarily in order to do something else. After a long meeting, we stopped to have some coffee. Then we completed the meeting after that. But stop ing form means to finish doing something forever. For example, at 5 o'clock, everyone stopped working and went home. The action is finished. Like, I stopped smoking. I don't smoke anymore. Go on to plus the infinitive to do something else after an activity stated previously. What does this mean? Once we'd written down our notes, we went on to type them back. Okay? We did an activity, okay, and we proceeded it by another one. But to continue is followed by ing. After a short break, Jack went on cooking. He continued. Yes, he started cooking, then he stopped and had a rest, then he went back to complete what he was cooking. The following verbs can be used with either to plus the infinitive or the gerund with no change in the meaning. What are these verbs? Begin, start, continue. We can say we begin to eat, we began to eat, or we began eating. Okay? This was your grammar for module 3. Okay, let us try to do some exercise on it. Sorry. Okay. Let
Let us do this exercise very quickly. Have you considered? Yes, applying. Well, it will mean working. Mark got such a low mark in his test, and then the teacher made him redo. That's correct. Number B, to be honest. Okay, to be honest. It's at the beginning. I wasn't expecting him to pass. Type. Sam's trying to find. That's correct. Has he tried taking? That might present, because we have a model here. What time would you like to have? But I'm sorry, I am busy all day. I meant 2:10. Okay, this is a short exercise about what we have been explaining. There's something short we need to say here. Something that we call the intensifiers. Okay, let us see what are they and how can we deal with them. Okay, intensifiers are adverbs which are used to make the adjective stronger. For example, your project is good. This is a normal sentence. In order to give it something stronger or to give it a stronger meaning, we can use your project is very good. Here, the sentence gives, or the word very gives good, or make it stronger. Okay. The most common intensifier is very. We can use it before adjectives. Helen is very happy. Okay, so this is an adjective, and we can use very before it. Adjectives plus noun. James is a very kind man. Very, and then an adjective, and then a noun. And before adverbs, the train travels very quickly. So we can use very with all kinds of words of speech, actually. We can also repeat it for extra emphasis. Okay, if we want to make it or we want to make the listener sure of what we are speaking. Tim's new car is very, very nice. It means we are emphasizing the adjective, but we don't use very with strong adjectives. Strong adjectives we can't use very with it because it's already strong, like enormous, furious, disgusting. Okay, these are strong adjectives. The weak adjective from enormous is big. This is, we can say very big, but we can't say very enormous. We can say very angry, but we can't say furious, very furious. Okay, because furious is strong. Disgusting, okay, and bad. Some NY adverbs like extremely, really, greatly, particularly, terribly are often used in the place of very for extra emphasis. It gives me extra emphasis, and we can use it instead of very. With adjectives, we can use extremely. Given is extremely polite. The film is terribly boring. Okay, so with adjectives we can use extremely and terribly. Okay, extremely with positive adjectives and terribly is with negative adjectives. What do you mean by positive adjectives and negative adjectives? It means polite. Here is a positive one. Okay. So we can use extremely with it, but boring, something that we don't like to be boring, so it's negative. With adverbs we can use particularly. Mr. Smith writes particularly nicely. Why? To give emphasis to the adverb. The past participles and verbs we can use greatly and really. I greatly admire my teacher. I am really irritated by your behavior. So here we use admire and really. Adjectives plus noun, we use really. Luis is a really professional employee. Strong intensifiers such as utterly, completely, entirely, totally, absolutely go with strong adjectives. Okay? So take care of this. Strong adjectives goes with utterly, completely, entirely, totally, absolutely. Like utterly furious, completely disgusting. Many ly intensifiers can collocate with specific adjectives. For example, bitterly cold or disappointed, gravely serious or ill, deeply depressed or worried. Okay, they just go with these adjectives. We can't use them with others. We can also use some adjectives like absolute, utter, total, complete, perfect, real as intensifiers with love. She is an absolute genius. That's a real bargain. Okay, so these adjectives are used as intensifiers. Okay, and they are followed by a noun. So we can't use it with verbs, for example. We can't use it with another adjective. Okay. Okay, that's for all. Let's try to make